Why did you choose to make the focus of your platform teen depression?
Well, because the international pageant system is a platform pageant, I had to develop a platform that I was really passionate about. And so, in the process of creating my platform, both my pageant director and my pageant coach were telling me to do something that was like very important to me.
Yes.
And so I was just thinking back on life of all the situations I've been through,
Uh-huh.
and it took me back to middle school, specifically like 8th grade. I had a close friend of mine who actually like went through depression.
Okay.
And she like it was like in the middle of the year, and she came to us and she was like, "I want to talk to you guys about something." So this is like me and my other friends, and we're like, "Okay."
Wow.
So we didn't really think it was anything bad.
Right.
And then like she like showed us her arms and her thighs like to see like the cut
Cuts.
marks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, "Oh, okay." And so then she like started talking to us and telling us why she was feeling like the way she felt.
Right.
And hers was more from like a self-confidence like sort
Okay.
of depression. It wasn't like
Okay.
a traumatic event, like
Right.
because some people get depressed based off of traumatic events.
Yes.
Hers was more on self-confidence. So throughout the year, a lot of us like worked with her to build up her self-confidence and to like
Awesome.
do like little things like, "Hey, you're smart, you know that. Oh my gosh, your hair looks nice today, you're so pretty," like little stuff like that to make her
Wow.
feel good about herself. And then I thought about that situation. I was like, this could be something that I can use my platform
Yes.
on. And the
Yes.
fact that like a lot of people deal with this,
Yes.
and that the fact that
Yes.
girls are like twice as more likely to become depressed, I was like, okay, this
Yes.
is something that we need to talk about a lot, because it's not something that teens specifically talk about. Like usually when you talk about teenagers, you think about the years of like, oh, we're rebellious teens, but
Right.
it's like,
Those
it's
darn
like,
teenagers
no,
don't
like,
want to listen to me. I told
it's
them
like-
kids.
it's like teens actually go through stuff, and a lot of us like actually do deal with mental disorders.
Yes.
So it's something that I think needs to bring like more awareness needs to come to it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's excellent because NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is coming a lot to the forefront now with talking about it, that it's okay to talk about it, whereas before a lot of times folks were just ashamed, or they didn't
Right.
know what to say, or embarrassed, or they didn't want to embarrass their parents or their family. But now, as things are becoming more open and coming more to light, there are now opportunities for support, for peer support groups. I remember my nephew had a horrible time. I think he was in 10th grade when he started cutting, and it was a horrible experience. And he ended up repeating the 10th grade, but now he's graduated and he's moved on and he's taking his medication and he's doing very well in college. But that can be a very trying time, and I'm sure a very trying time for your friend. Going through that period. But it's so heroic to hear that you guys like just supported her during that difficult time.
Yeah, I think especially one of the main things for people who deal with like any types of disorders, but like specifically with depression, like you really need a support group to actually
Yes.
get through that, because it's not something you can get through by yourself. Like you need support to get through that.
Yeah, it can depression is one of those things that can really overshadow you, and if you don't get the support, and parents, as we're talking about this, if your children don't get the support and get the help that they need, it can be very detrimental to them. Part of the reason why we put the suicide hotline there is because depression can lead to suicide, and so it's very important, very critical that you take note of the signs. Now, I know with girls, our daughters, we PMSing, we crying, we screaming. I'm PMSing too, going through menopause in a minute, and my daughter's gonna go through puberty, and we gonna go through it. But talking to your doctor, and really, if you're not, even if you're not sure, it's best to just go ahead and ask the questions or seek out the resources to get your son or your daughter the help that they need.